All right, back with another episode of the Better by the Numbers podcast presented by Life Metrics. We're joined with Ron at the third annual Roundtable of Longevity Clinics. Ron, how are we doing and what are we doing in the longevity space?
It's a good question. Everything, I think,
Nice.
is the right answer.
Great.
Or now after this meeting, everything. But so I'm a plastic surgeon, so I've always been focused on sort of wellness from the outside, and now getting into the longevity space, really trying to combine that with wellness from the inside and sort of all around wellness. So we're building a big clinic. We're going to really just start getting into all the biometrics, all of the assessments of health and wellness, and really trying to change that for patients inside and out.
Are you guys at the infancy stage of
We
this?
are.
Okay.
So we have a number of partners who are much more experienced in that space than I am. Again, my focus has always been on surgery, but we are opening clinic in April, so we're a few months away from launch.
Okay. How are you bridging the gap from, I guess, surgery and longevity? Like what's...
Yeah, good question.
Yeah.
Really smart partners.
Nice.
So
Nice.
people with a lot more experience, right? So there's, so much has happened over the last, decade in this space. So really trying to build on their experience and trying to bring my experience, both looking after, healthy patients that want to look great on the outside, but also, I do a lot of looking after breast cancer patients, breast reconstruction. And so those patients need, a lot on the sort of general wellness longevity side. So that's going to be a great bridge for both.
When in your career did you start noticing that there was room for a plastic surgeon in the longevity space?
For sure, day one.
Okay. All right.
So so on that, I was probably an early adopter. I've never been the kind of plastic surgeon that wants to make really good looking people look even better or a little bit strange, as we see a lot.
Right. Right.
So that's never been my thing. My thing has always been helping regular, normal people just deal with something that bothers them, or an area that doesn't give them the confidence that they really want. Or like I said, the breast reconstruction patients, right? They have breast cancer, they have a mastectomy.
Yeah.
Now rebuilding the breast gives them that confidence, gives them their normal body, that they're used to having. So that's always been my patient population, which fits with normal people.
Yeah. Yeah. How did you, I guess, do you have any case studies or a specific case that you can think of that this benefited somebody that started off, they wanted plastic surgery, and you were able to kind of talk them through and walk them through what we're doing in the longevity space and get them to kind of rethink what they want to do?
Yeah, good question. I think I would go, I probably can, but I think more recently, as I've been speaking about this to patients and getting them excited about what's to come, it's been really positive with, let's just go back to the breast cancer population, for example, that is so focused on their diagnosis and the reconstruction and the short term, and to be able to talk to them about general wellness and longevity really switches their focus. And we heard a lot at this meeting about how your mindfulness and how your outlook can actually impact your health. And I think when we talk to them about not just how they're going to look and how confident they'll be in their body, but how we're going to look after them long term from a longevity perspective, it changes their whole recovery from their disease, actually.
So you believe, obviously, when someone feels better, is more confident, less lonely, better in their interactions, that are they less likely to have to deal with, I guess, going to a traditional medicine?
So I've always believed that, but I don't think there was I didn't know there was any proof. And I think we've actually heard over the last couple of days that we are starting to really see that in the data, in the research. But to be honest, as just a regular person, forget doctor, I've always believed that. I believe the mind is incredibly important. And
mind over matter, right? Yeah. So
totally. I've always felt that to be incredibly important.
Nice. How do you see your profession growing in the space?
So that's that's the thing that really gets me exciting. I've been a plastic surgeon for 10 or 12 years, and I don't want to say that the surgery gets easy or routine. It's always a challenge, but what's exciting about it is to tie it into wellness and longevity. So I think that's where the future is, taking plastic surgery out of a point in time where you're just doing a surgery because they want something bigger, something smaller, something better, to how it's going to change their whole life. I think that is very exciting, and that's what the next 5 years look like.
What are some of the challenges that someone say, I want to come in, get plastic surgery, And like, what are, I guess, some of the biggest like hurdles that you have to get over to convince someone that they may not need this?
Yeah, just so yeah, then that's an everyday thing.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
my staff, who are paid on commission, they get
Mhm.
upset because I turn a lot of people around.
Right. You
But
messed up our commission, man.
exactly.
Right.
But that's but the reality is that we spend so much time trying to understand how that procedure is going to change their lives. And if it's not going to change their lives, or it's going to change their lives for a very short period of time and they can't see past that, it's really my job to tell them that I'm not the right person to do this, or better yet, maybe they just shouldn't do it at all. Now, it doesn't happen that much.
Right.
It's usually that we modify what they're thinking, so they might be thinking about some big radical change that they don't understand the impact that's going to have in 10 years from now. And I might be able to convince them to do something that's super meaningful, but less aggressive than what they were thinking. And that's going to be a much better long-term solution.
Wow. Okay. All right. So what are you looking forward to? The expansion of this? Like,
oh, I'm just being able to look after patients for 20, 30, 40 years, to me, is so exciting, right? As a surgeon, you often do look after patients just while they need you, and then you never see them again. So I think for me, I'm super excited to see the patient months or years before their surgery, through their surgery, and then for the next 20 or 30 years as we take them through this longevity journey.
Okay. And as specific to Roundtable, I kind of want to bring it back here. What were some of the biggest takeaways for you personally?
Oh, yeah. So, well, one is that the horizon is just, incredible. The future is incredible. The amount of data that we can collect now, the integration of AI to actually analyze this data. I couldn't imagine being able to do anything useful with it without AI. So I think that's been a big message. And then the other thing I thought was really great was just talking about the customer experience, right? The patient experience being so important to change that from traditional medicine to what we now think of as concierge medicine or longevity medicine, where you really look at every patient as an individual and try to treat them like they're your only patient. That's been a message and something I've always believed in, and I see that we can do that.
Do you believe that at many people in your field, many plastic surgery clinics and plastic surgeons will start to adopt this as a practice, or do you think that there will, regardless, there'll still be kind of two industries within?
I haven't thought a lot about it, but I think that probably it's going to be hard to adapt because, look, there's a lot of money in plastic surgery, like in the surgery part. So, for me to spend 3 hours in surgery and earn quite a significant revenue from that patient, and then spend the next 20 years and generate much, much, much less for much more effort is going to be hard for people to adopt.
Yeah.
But it's the right thing to do. There's no question about it.
I love that. I actually love that. All right. Where are you guys expanding? Where are you guys located?
Yeah, so we're going to talk when Corey, my partner, we would love to talk about it. We're in Toronto, in Canada, opening what's going to be the biggest clinic in the country that's really multidisciplinary. So men's health, women's health. We have a whole hair health and hair transplant center, along with all of the plastic surgery, cosmetic surgery that we do. So very exciting project. We've been working on it almost for 10 years in terms of concept. And really for 2 years in terms of build out and really putting it together. So super exciting.
Are you haven't heard you guys completely speak to the entire, to the entire room. So you guys are networking, but how are you running into any more plastic surgeons? Are you seeing this becoming a trend? Are you seeing more and more,
I think we're getting a lot of calls now from plastic surgeons and people in adjacent spaces that want to come work with us because they see that this is something that's really new and exciting. I think, again, the financial model still needs to be worked out. It's always been my secondary concern.
Right.
Believe it or not, it's what makes me different, I guess, than most plastic surgeons. But so the financial stuff needs to be worked out. But we get calls every day now from practitioners in the cosmetic surgery or wellness cosmetic space that want to join this endeavor because it's totally different.
I guess my just because you told me there's a lot of money in the surgery, right? How are you have you thought about how you're going to frame this to the industry to let them know, hey, yeah, it's not as much money maybe at the forefront, but like this is the right thing to do to help people?
Yeah, we think a lot about that. And the answer to that is we need to start charging people for the difference that you're going to make in their lives as opposed to for the procedure, right? It always bothers me when my patient coordinators are talking to patients about what kind of tummy tuck do you need.
Yeah.
Forget about the tummy tuck. What's the change we're trying to make in your life? That's what we need to figure
Yeah.
out, and that's what you're paying for.
Yeah.
So if there's a price tag of X for a tummy tuck, we should be talking about a price tag of 10 times X for the change it's going to have in your life over the next 30 years. That's a totally different market. It's a totally different concept. And I hope that that's going to work, because again, I say it like this, but it's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
It really
Yeah.
is. We shouldn't be doing a tummy tuck because that's what the patient wants. We should do a tummy tuck because they're going to feel great in their social interactions, at the beach, at work, whatever. It's going to help them just feel better and in that whole environment.
So you guys sound like you're at the forefront of, putting plastic surgery and putting that in the longevity space. Besides doing the roundtables and coming to the events like this, what else are you guys doing for outreach?
So a lot. So most of my time, it used to be all surgery. Now it's half surgery and half really just literally meetings, bringing people, colleagues, even people that I've trained with and worked with for many, many years, and sitting them down and showing them the vision, showing them, case examples like the one we talked about, or many, many others, and trying to really build it's a whole new paradigm. So it's a lot of one-on-one. It's not a lot of group stuff. Like this roundtable has been amazing for me to actually hear from clinics what they're doing. But it's really been a lot of one-on-one, just, explaining. And I have to tell you, from the bank people that we had to raise money from the plastic surgeons in the community, dermatologists, when you hear the concept, when you see that it's a reality, it can be done, and you can build a facility that can provide that, everybody's into it. Because again, it's the right thing to do. So it's hard to not get excited about it.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of people that are going to sit and wait and see what happens.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. It's more fulfilling, I would say. It's more fulfilling to be able to help someone throughout their life, and not only feel better, but hopefully give them the longevity they look for.
Yeah.
Right?
That's the idea.
You mentioned AI. What AI are you using? What platforms help you out? And are you finding that they're accurate?
So I'll tell you, the one that I use every single day, which probably many physicians are using now, are the AI scribes, right?
Okay.
So I used to have to divide my attention when I'm talking to a patient. I had to divide my attention between the patient and trying to write my notes so that I had something cohesive and coherent that I could go back to and remember what we talked about and what the plan was. But my brain was split in half. Now that the AI scribe is listening to the consultation and writing the note and doing a little bit of the analysis of our conversation, I'm 100% focused on the patient. Like, I'm just looking at the patient. I'm completely engaged. And that's changed everything. And that's just been in the last 6 months for us, really. And so that's one little thing that AI has done to completely change the patient experience. Really, really exciting.
Wow. Okay, man. It's like it's getting streamlined. It's getting quicker, but also, I hope, I definitely hope that you can frame it to where most plastic surgeons can see that this is also a profitable way to continue their practice.
And in the end of the day, that's what we have to figure out.
Right. Yeah. Just messaging that perfectly, So, all right. Well, it was so good to meet you.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of the Better by the Numbers podcast, presented by Life Metrics. We'll catch you on the next one.
Thank